Hi, I'm Erica Drury with Align Nutrition, a private practice specializing in the treatment of eating disorders. This is the last video of a series of 3 videos that I've made. I get a lot of requests for dietetic interns, students, and some dietitians that want to shadow with me or meet for coffee or pick my brain. And as much as I wish that I could do that all the time, I love meeting new people. I love connecting with people. I love seeing the passion in people as they make changes in their career and pursue nutrition. I can't do it right now, and I'm just in a really busy season in my business. So I wanted to create these videos to offer something valuable, I hope. So think of this as a virtual coffee meeting, and this topic of this last video is advice that I would like to offer to new people setting out in nutrition. So one of the biggest things that I offer to nutrition students, and some of this comes from personal experience, and I'm also talking about eating disorders here as well, is to really understand your own relationship with food. It can be really damaging if you have a negative relationship with food. That will come through. Your clients will know, they will sense it. You will say certain things that could potentially be damaging. There's nothing wrong with having a history of being interested in nutrition and health, or even maybe some disordered eating yourself. It's actually pretty common, but you need to handle it before you're working with people. Like I said, no shame in that. You really need to deal with it. So I always recommend supervision with another dietitian. I'm a dietitian supervisor, so as dietitians, we don't hear about that a lot like therapists do, but what that means is that you would pay me to kind of advise you on your own relationship with food, also kind of what you're dealing with and working with clients or things that are coming up for you. And with that said, especially in honoring a proper scope of practice, you may need therapy. We're helping professionals. So we are giving our energy away to other people all day, every day. You have to be able to replenish that energy. And as much of that is rooted in self-care and taking good care of yourself and taking time off, connecting with friends, checking in with yourself, seeing whatever you need, whether that's rest or play or food or fun. But you have to learn how to deal with your own stuff and the emotions that come up around that. So some people find that therapy is really, really helpful. I will always see a therapist because that keeps me fresh for my clients and just something that I do on an ongoing basis. So huge piece of advice. Like I said, outside of the eating disorder world and therapists, not a lot of people talk about other dietitians getting supervision from other dietitians. And it's also a way to learn a lot clinically and also how to work in private practice. So if you're a dietitian and you're looking for that, I'd be happy to supervise you as long as we determine that we're a good fit. So the other thing that I really like to offer people is to whoever you're working with someday, whether that's someday or now, whether you're a dietetic intern or a student or whatever, is to understand your clients. You really need to listen to them. We don't get a lot of counseling skills or kind of aside from motivational interviewing, but you really need to hear them because as dietitians, we're trained to assess and intervene. And when you are first sitting with clients for the first time ever, you figure out really quickly that it doesn't work that way. That's such an ideal situation. You may get a referral that is for high cholesterol, but you ask a client how you can help them that day, and they come in and they say, hey, I'm really learning how to put together a great breakfast. You're not going to interrupt them and say, oh, well, I hear you on that, but your doctor really wanted me to talk to you about high cholesterol. You're going to immediately alienate them. You need to understand them. You need to listen to them. So The last thing I like to tell people when it comes to owning your own business and being in private practice is to have really good boundaries. And what that means is knowing what's okay with you and what's not okay with you, and being able to speak up about that, because there's not as much structure like you would have in a clinical job. So if you have a client that is constantly canceling on you an hour before session, or somebody that, really, really wants to get help, but they can't seem to meet with you before 7 p.m. and you're coming in the office to see them at 7:30 on a Thursday night, even though you would love to be having dinner with a friend, or you're not charging that client for reserving your time and canceling right before. You're not having good boundaries, and you have to have good boundaries both from as a skilled clinician. You need to know, hey, this isn't okay with me. You have a working collaborative relationship with your people, but also from a business standpoint, you need to take care of your business and your business health. And that's, again, not always something we learn how to do. That could be something as simple as charging what you're worth, right? If you're like, oh, yeah, I'll just charge them $40, or they don't have a lot of money. Well, you're not bringing a value into what you do. People don't know what we know. So that's my last biggest piece of advice. I could go on a rant all day about that, but we have to value what we do, and we have to really, really have good boundaries and understand what that looks like. So again, I wish you the best of luck in your career. I wish I could meet with you. Thank you so much for getting in touch with me and finding me, and take care.